Step one, you need to create a scale drawing. This needs to be something that will fit on your plate or bowl, whatever you're carving onto. You want to know what you're going to carve away and what you're going to leave behind. And I like to use my foot ring template as a template for this as well, so that I know that I'll fill most of the flat part of the plate. Next, I'm going to apply underglaze. I like to use the Amico Velvet series. This is Amethyst. And I'm going to shake it up and then apply at least 3 coats. I sometimes find that I need more than that. I like to use a big mop brush when I'm applying this, and to apply in one direction and then a different direction. I will frequently use a hair dryer or a heat gun in between. You want to be a little bit careful about how much you use a heat gun or a hair dryer because you don't want it to get too dry and then not carve away as smoothly. You don't want it to chip as you're carving away because you've gotten it too dry. You really want this to stay in the leather hard phase while you're carving. Once you've gotten all your coats of underglaze on there, you want to make sure you get it good and dry. And then just use a damp sponge to clean up where you got underglaze, any place that you didn't want to have it, especially along the rim. It takes not that much time. Next step is that you're going to trace your drawing, and I like to use a different color pencil than I used for my drawing at all. This helps me see where I have already traced and where I have not traced yet, and really helps me avoid missing areas that I might miss otherwise. Make sure you hold it in place when you pull it back to check on how your progress is going and you don't miss any spots. I always like to make a circle around my project when I'm doing a plate so that I have the ability to carve away the negative areas and still have kind of a frame around what I'm working with. My next step is to start actually carving, and I like to carve right along the outlines of things, knowing what areas I'm going to carve away and carving on that side of the line. So here I'm carving the area outside the rabbit away, so I carved on the outside edge of the line for the rabbit. And then I'm also carving along the outside edge of the ring around the entire outside. I'm using the side of my sgraffito tool, so it's that hook shaped tool, and I'm just using the edge. I'm not trying to gouge it out, I'm not trying to take away a lot of clay. I'm just scraping away the very surface, trying to make sure that there's no color left on that area. And you just take your time. I sometimes like to use my hand like a compass in the center when I'm doing any kind of circle work and follow the curve by using the arc of my hand on the side of it. I like to use a paintbrush every once in a while to just brush away my crumbs. It works a lot better than using your fingers because sometimes if you use your fingers, you'll kind of mash the clay back in and it'll get stuck, which you don't want to have happen. So just a stiff paintbrush every once in a while to get those out of your way will help a lot. Make sure you're paying attention to balance. This shouldn't just be a line drawing, but it really should be something where about half of the area is carved away and half of it is left behind so that you get kind of that block print feel. Now I'm working on the moon and the little spots in the moon. Kind of think about how you're going to separate the two areas, the rabbit from the moon, even though they're both the same color. Sometimes that can look like adding texture, and sometimes that is just having a line between the things. Here I'm adding a little bit of texture to the ear, adding that line between the rabbit and the moon, and working on the eye. A trick there, when you want something round, using just like a ballpoint pen or something like that to create the round circle and then carving away outside of it. At the very end, you're going to see if you made any mistakes and you can kind of go back in. You can always add a little bit of underglaze back in there. and dry it back up and then recarve. So here I made a little bit of a mistake in the moon and carved away an area I didn't want to, and then the shoulder of the rabbit. So once I get that fixed, I can just go back in there and carve again and get it exactly how I want it to look. When you're done, you're just going to kind of smooth and finish. Sometimes I'll go back in there with another tool, smooth along the edges. I will use my hand and just kind of smooth along the plate and make sure that everything is exactly how I want it to look. It really is worth taking the time to just go around the outside of everything, smooth things out, brush away any crumbs that you have with your paintbrush, run your finger over and make sure there's no chipped pieces that are going to stay on there. And there you have it, your finished piece. You can also experiment with texture and balance, reusing your artwork with different colors of underglaze or different texture techniques. A different choice as to what's carved away and what's left behind can give you really different looks with the same piece of artwork. So play around with it and see what you can come up with. These will then be run through the kiln for a bisque firing. When they come out of the kiln, you're going to want to rinse them in the sink and just get any dust or debris off and check the front and the back to make sure they're good and clean before you start glazing. You're going to want to put a clear glaze over the top. I like the Amico Sahara liquid glaze. It says HF for high fire, but it fires at a cone 5. Shake it up really well. Use a hand wheel. I like to use a big mop brush or a big wide flat brush. And if you use a hand wheel, you can just rotate it as you go and make sure you're getting every area covered really well. I like to kind of go back and forth a lot on the area that's textured where I carve because sometimes you can miss areas pretty well. Get one coat on there, use a heat gun, and then apply a second coat. It suggests doing 3 coats. I've found that I prefer 2 coats to not get too thick of a layer on there. Use a heat gun to get it good and dry. It'll look almost white, but it'll fire clear. And then just use a little sponge to get any off the rim if you're only glazing the top like I did. These are now ready for a glaze fire at cone 5. When they come out, you'll have results like this: the purple one, the orange one, and an ombre.